Good, good evening, all. Thank you for joining us today with this session. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all the students, parents, and teachers and heads who have joined us today for this particular session. And I also welcome Reshma, our Velamal Bodhi campus prodigy, who has come here, accepted our invitation, and who has come here to share her experience and knowledge about getting selected to a university in UK. So, Ms. Reshma, over to you. You can directly start.
Yes, sir. Thank you. A
Yes,
very
Reshma.
pleasant good evening to you all. I would like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to our most benevolent chairman, sir, honorable director, sir, director, madam, respected principals, distinguished vice principals, laudable ACOs, my dear teachers, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I can very strongly say that Velamal has shaped me into who I am today. I am a very proud Velamalian. Growing up at this school has been a wonderful transition time for me personally. I did my schooling here at Velamal right from my class LKG to my class 12. From making me discover my talents and abilities and excel equally well in both academics and extracurriculars and expand my sphere of interests, Velamal has done it all. I'm sure it's the case with many other Velamalians too. In today's session, I will be sharing with you my schooling here at Velamal and talk you through my decision of applying to the UK and the application process and the various steps that are involved. So to begin with, I will be joining the University of Manchester in the UK to do my integrated master's in engineering in computer science. The University of Manchester is ranked 27th in the world and 6th in the UK. As a child, I had always been dreaming of graduating from a premier institution. As a teenager, I dreamt of either graduating from an IIT or from a premier institution abroad. But I wasn't confident enough if I could do it from a university abroad. So when I was in class 8, I settled on the former option and fancied the idea of graduating from an IIT. I started preparing for IIT and I understood how prestigious it was to get into an IIT, the ranking of an IIT, and the amount of preparation that went into it. So I started preparing for IIT very seriously. As a student, I was studious and was consistent. I was good at extracurriculars. I was good at academics. I was into throw ball. I was into handball, athletics. And I was also into karate. And now I hold a black belt in karate. During my school life, I had been the school pupil leader in the session 2019 to 2020 and have been the house captain during my middle school years and have also been the class representative for consecutive years. And I had so many things going on in my plate that my mother one day she came up to me and gave me an ultimatum that Reshma, you have so many things going on your plate that you have to decide it's either going to be academics or extracurriculars. But I told her, Amma, please leave it to me. I want to excel equally well in both. I told her, I promised her that I wouldn't let my extracurriculars meddle with my academics. And now she is proud of the all-rounder that I have become today. Velamal has offered opportunities to strengthen and outshine my skills. And those who grab onto it have always succeeded. And those who don't are surely missing out on the wonderful experience that Velamal has to offer. Today, I'm thankful for having grabbed onto every opportunity that Velamal has thrown my way. I'm thankful for having said a big yes to all the opportunities that came my way. While you are at your school, go ahead and say yes if you get an opportunity your way. Teachers and the school management have played a very crucial role into molding me into who I am today. The bond that a teacher and a student share at school has always been amazing and at times helps us move forward in personal struggles. The teachers have helped me in my crucial times, and without their help, I wouldn't have been able to balance my extracurriculars and my academics together. Teachers have discovered my talents and abilities that I didn't even know I was capable of. When I was in class 9, my English teacher, who's been my class teacher for the last few years, dear Aisha ma'am, she encouraged me to take up debating. I wasn't into debating before my class 9. And since then, I have been representing the school at various competitions, including debate. Teachers have found a good orator and a good debater in me. Now, while I was in my class 10, Aisha ma'am, she encouraged me that I take up the CAT exam. For all of you who don't know what a CAT exam is, it is nothing but an English language proficiency test. I did not know the importance of taking up a CAT when I was in class 10. But I said yes. Me being me, I said yes, I'll do it, ma'am. And I took the CAT exam and I had a decent score. After my class 10 board examinations, during my class 11, Aisha ma'am, she said, there is another next level for the CAT exam. Do you want to go ahead and do it? I said, yes, ma'am, I like to do it because I was very keen on writing the first certificate examination in English, that is the FCE. By then, I had understood the importance of FCE. Many of you might have already known that you have an opportunity to take up the FCE exam during your class 11 and class 12. I've seen many of my classmates who have not wanted to take up FCE. So, my dear friends, if you get an opportunity to take up the FCE exam, regardless of you going abroad or staying here, please do it. It's good. It's good to test your proficiency in English. Now, I took the CAT exam and I got a distinction with a very high score of 191 for 200. And this lifted my confidence. Like I told you all, I wasn't confident enough, but this fueled my desire of going abroad and graduating from a university. The dream that I had of graduating from a premier institution abroad, which I had pushed into the deeper ends of my heart, resurfaced. And I wanted to face it. I wanted to give it a shot. But remember, I was this kid who went on and on about graduating from an IIT and making her mom proud. So before I went to my mother and told her about my change of plans, I wanted to be very sure. I wanted to be doubly confirmed and I wanted to lay the plans out very clear and sorted. So my mother doesn't say no. My mother has always been very supportive of me, and she says yes to all the decisions that will make me happy and all the decisions that she thinks is good. So if you are a young girl or a young boy who dreams of going abroad or having a different career plans, before you go to your mother or your father and tell them of your plans, you should look confident, and that is how they'll say the yes. Say yes to your plans. So that's my tip. Now, I started exploring on the university options abroad, and I looked at the various options in UK, US, and Canada. I narrowed down to UK based on the living conditions, the student life, the career after graduation. And what seemed more appealing to me was that the curriculum was under regular review and was modified in relation with the recent improvements and developments and discoveries in the field of science and engineering. So I went ahead and I told my mom, this is what I'm going to do. I want to pursue higher education abroad. And I told her my dream of going to IIT did not go to waste because the university that I'm placed at right now is ranked 27th in the world, and the IIT Mumbai has a ranking of 150. And I told her, Amma, this is greater than what I want to achieve, so I want to go ahead and do it. She was happy to help me with that, and we started the application process together. So there are 4 steps in the application, which I will brief you about in detail. Now, the first step is defining your target. You have to decide what you want to study and where do you want to study. Regardless of you going abroad or staying here in India and pursuing your education, you have to decide where you want to study and what interests you more and where do you want to do that. This is the most crucial step. This is your life decider. So I decided on computer science and I decided on 5 choices. I actually had 6, but then the last choice, I did not go for it. Now, my first 5 choices were the Imperial College London, then the University of Manchester, then the University of Bristol, then the University of Warwick, and the University of Birmingham. Now, all of which are top 50 universities in the world. My extra choice was University of Cambridge. Now, the reason that I did not apply to Cambridge was Cambridge required me to take an exam at Chennai or in the middle of the lockdown. So I couldn't move from Madurai to Chennai, so I decided on not applying to Cambridge. So anyone who wants to apply to UK can only apply to 5 universities in the max. So if you're applying to the US, you can apply to around 8 to 10 universities. Now, the second step is checking the requirements. Check the requirements that you have to meet in order to study at your dream institution. Wherever you are going abroad, you can visit the university website. The university website is so transparent, and you can check the application requirements section to see what your requirements are. Now, the requirements are generally eight. Now, first one is the English language proficiency test. So the English language proficiency test is a test that any universities abroad will want you to take up, because it tests your English language proficiency. It can be an IELTS exam or a TOEFL exam or a Cambridge English language test. It can be an FCE exam or a CAE exam. It can also be a Duolingo, all of which are approved by the universities. The second thing is your class 10 and class 11 marks. Generally, if you're applying to universities abroad, the top universities will expect a minimum of 90% from you in your class 10 and class 11. So you have to be consistent right from your class 10 if you're dreaming of going abroad for your higher education. The third thing is your class 12 marks. So if you're applying abroad, you can actually do it twice. Once before you get your board exam results, and the other one is after you get your board exam results. I would say it's safer to apply before you have your board exam results, because you know in your class 12 where you're going to be and what you have to do in order to be there. So you get inspired. And very rarely people start applying after their board exam results, because there'll be some last minute change of plans. So yeah. And the next thing is an employment. So by employment, I do not mean the daily wage jobs. I mean something like an internship. I don't normally see this practice here in India. When you look at the countries outside India, there they encourage the students, students right out of class 10, to take up internships during the summer and winter holidays in class 11 and class 12. And I had internship. I would say, regardless of you going abroad or not, you should take up an internship, because taking up an internship will help you gain new exposure, gain new skills, and polish your already existing skills. See, the way I see it, there are two sides for it. If you are applying abroad, it will be an added point in your application, and it will help you gain new skills and stuff. And if you're not going abroad, if you are at a later point in your life, when you're applying for a job, say if you can mention it in your resume or your CV, and that will look good. The next thing that they require of you is a supporting evidence. Supporting evidence as in what you do outside your school hours in your field of interest. It can be a certified course or a program or an international seminar, etc. The next three steps are going to be very crucial. So the first one is the personal statement. So when you're applying to the UK, they call it a personal statement. When you're applying to the US, they call it a statement of purpose. When you're applying to Canada, they call it an essay. So it's nothing, personal statement is nothing but an essay that you write about how good you are as a student and what you have done during your school life. Why do you want to pursue the course that you are interested in? Why do you want to go abroad? We all will be naturally being international students, so you'll have to tell them why you're planning to go abroad from India, and you'll have to tell them how good you are as a human. Normally, outside of India, anywhere, they look at how you are as a person, not only based on your marks, but also they'll rank you on your skills. They expect you to be an all-rounder. So, and the next thing is your reference. So, if you are applying before you have your before you're applying before your class 12 exams, they ask you to give a reference. So a reference is given by a referee. It is mostly the head of the school, and in my case it was the principal. Now the reference is a validation of what you have written on your personal statement. The referee will have a look at your personal statement and will validate what you have written on your personal statement. And in addition to that, he or she will write how you have been during the school life at school, during the school years at school. Now, the next important step is the entrance test. I had an entrance test for all the universities. It was based on aptitude, mathematics, physics. And since I was applying for computer science, I had it for computer science. So if you're applying for US or Canada, you have to write the SAT exam. If you're applying to the UK, each universities will have their own entrance exams. And my requirements were, I had the Cambridge first certificate examination. Thankful to having done that during my class 11, I didn't have to do it again. I would say if you are planning to go abroad, you should take up the Cambridge exam. It's valid, and you get a provision to take it when you're in your school itself. So when if your English teachers or your the school comes up to you and says there is this option to do it, you should go ahead and do it. And the next thing is the class 10 and class 11 marks. I had 95% in my class 10 and a decent score of about 90% in my class 11. Then my class 12 marks. Since I was applying before my board exam results, the school had to send my predicted grades to the universities very confidentially. And talking about the internship, I had 2 internships, and it helped me gain new skills and exposure. And the supporting evidence was that I did 2 extra credit courses when I was in my class 11 and class 12. I did a course in Python on the University of Michigan when I was in class 11. And I did another course in web development and JavaScript from the University of California, Davis, when I was in class 12, all of which are good universities. The next step is the personal statement. I had the personal statement and I gave it to a few of my family friends for them to suggest something, and they'll give you corrections or they'll show you points where you have to highlight or things like that. And that was my personal statement. Then the reference was given by the head of the school for me. And I'm really thankful to Vice Principal Anita ma'am and Principal sir and Vice Chairman Ganesh Natarajan sir, who's been very supportive of me throughout the admission process. Now, the next step was my entrance test. Like I already told you, I had entrance exam, which was based on aptitude, mathematics, physics, and computer science, since I was going for computer science. Now, the third step is managing your time. Start your application well in advance. If you have plans of going abroad, then you have to start well in advance, plan things, because there may be unexpected delays. As from my experience, the admission process is very, very time consuming. For example, say you haven't undertaken a language proficiency test, you'll have to plan it well in advance. You have to plan, book an appointment, take up the test, and then for them to give you the result will take time. Let's say it takes 2 months. So during the 2 months, you'll also have to submit your application. So you will be, if you don't manage your time properly, you will be missing out on all the deadlines. So, and once you know about the application process, the fourth step is registering at the Ucas and starting your application. So, if you are applying to a university abroad, university in the UK, you have to apply through Ucas. And if you are applying to the US, you directly email the universities that you're interested in, and they'll give you their application platform. Now, since I was applying to the UK, and if you are also dreaming of applying to the UK, you should register with the Ucas. Now, anyone who's applying to the UK has to apply through the Ucas. It is completely online. All that you need to do is create a personal account and then choose your course and start with the application process. But remember, there are some universities who accept applications that come only through Ucas. There are few universities that do it jointly with Ucas. So you'll have to decide on which university you're applying to and how they prefer the application. So, and another misconception that the people have is you'll have to get the help of an agency to do the application. It's normally not like that. We can always do the application process ourselves. The application process is very, very transparent. In the Ucas, you'll have videos and guides that will help you fill out the application. And in the Ucas, you'll have a small checkbox with a question mark on it that will tell you what you have to do for each question. So it's very, very transparent. You could do it on your own. Wherever you are, if you have plans of applying abroad, the only thing that you need to do is be very sure of what the admission process is and start with your application. If you want any additional help, you can, of course, approach an agency. So if you want to apply through Ucas, all you have to do is type the www.ucas.com on Google. And this is how the web page will look like. So once you click the sign in button that is on the right corner of the page, you will get the login or register page. Now, if you are applying as a student for the first time, you'll have to register. Once you click on the register button, you'll have to fill out the personal details, and then you'll get your login credentials. That is your username and your password. So once you're registered, every time you log back in, you need not go to the register section. Instead, proceed directly to the login section. Now you enter your username and your password in your inside the Ucas application. The application will have these sections. There are almost 11 sections, which I will be discussing with you in detail. Now, the first one is the personal details. You'll have to fill out your personal details, all your personal information. And then in the additional information section, you'll have to fill out if you have the dual nationality, you have double passports, or are you a non-EU or UK citizen, and things like that. The third thing is the student finance. That is, you'll have to enter if you are, if your parents are paying for your study, or you're getting a help from a sponsor. The next thing is choice. So like I told you, you can only apply to a maximum of 5 universities. You can apply to 3, 4, 5, but not 6. So you enter your choices, you enter the university that you're dreaming of, that's done. And the next section is the education section. You'll have to fill out the details regarding to your education right from your LKG. That is how long you have been studying at the school, and which schools have you been studying at, and things like that. The next thing is your employment. Like I told you, they expect you to have an internship. It's not expectation. It's good to have an internship, but they would understand if you don't have any too. So you fill out your employment details, give which company you have worked for, how long, and a one-liner about what your role was. That's done. And the next step is your statement. So the statement is an essay that you'll fill out. It has a 2,000 words limit, and you complete your statement, and then you move on to the next section, which is the reference. So you won't be able to see what the referee will be giving in your reference. So the only thing that you will be able to do in the reference section will be give the details of who your referee will be. You'll have to fill out their name, their post, their institution ID, and details. So the Ucas will mail your referee the link to this web page. So they will type your reference, and once the reference is done, you will see a green tick in the side of the reference title, and you will be notified once the reference is done. The next step is paying and send. As far as I remember, you will have to pay £25 to pay for your application and send them. The next two sections are not very necessary. There is help box to do that will help that will provide details of what you'll have to do. And once you're done with all these sections, you will be able to hit the submit button, and it is the waiting time. As soon as you send your application to the universities, they will send you a mail stating they have received your application. And once you have sent your application, there's not a regular period of time for them to respond to you, because the UK universities, they face a huge load of applications, so it will take them time to process yours. And since they'll be having so many thousands of applications, it will take them several months, or rarely weeks. It depends on the application the university has collected during that call. But the good news is you can always track the processing of your application. So while I submitted my application, I went to the track, and I tracked the application. It said under review or under process. And the time between submitting my application and the receiving decision was very, very frustrating. Once I hit the submit button, it was the waiting time. Every morning I would wake up, right out of bed, I would go to the laptop, open the Ucas, and look for any updates. And every night before I go to sleep, I would go to the Ucas and look at the update. I was being very paranoid. I had all these questions of when will the university respond to me? When will I get a decision? It was also frustrating. But my mom dealt with it all very patiently. She told me good things take time. Remember, good things take time. Now, I submitted my application on November 11th, and a month and a half later, received my first offer letter. A few weeks later, an unsuccessful application letter from Imperial, and a few weeks later, I got 2 acceptance offer letters. So by the end of 5 or 6 months, I had 4 acceptance offer letters and 1 unsuccessful offer letters out of the 5 universities that I applied to. So my firm choice was the University of Manchester, and my insurance choice was the University of Bristol. I was given a conditional offer. Say, if you're applying to a university abroad before you have your results, they'll give you a conditional offer subject to conditions. If you already have your results, they'll give you an unconditional offer straight away. I was given a conditional offer subject to condition. I had to score 90% overall, 90% in mathematics and physics and computer science, and physics or computer science, and in English. So my results were out and I met the conditions of the offer. The university gave me my CAST papers, which you will need to apply for the visa. I had my visa stamping this week and I'm now registered as a student, have my own university mail address. I'm officially a student at the University of Manchester. This is my journey of dreaming big and landing there. School is the right place, which makes many of us dream big, and the teachers make us take the baby steps in marching towards the dream. While you are at your school, say yes to all the opportunities that are thrown your way. I'm really very grateful to all the teachers, especially my class 10 and class 12 teachers. They have left an imprint on my heart, and that will last forever. As I reflect on my journey in Velamal, from my LKG to my class 12, I have made memories that will give me countless joy. My entire school life here at Velamal will always be a chapter very close to my heart. Last year, while I was waiting for the decisions from the university, I read this quote and I loved it immediately. I kept telling myself during this waiting period that every success story starts with a dream. And today, as my dreams have turned into reality, to put it away, a success story, I would say, whichever situation you are in, if you're dreaming of something and if you have doubts, if you land there, tell yourself that every success story starts with a dream. As I make a transition from caterpillar to a butterfly, as my wings await me to embark on my career, I must say that my incubation period here at Velamal has been a wonderful and a memorable one. Thank you. Thank you all for listening to me patiently.
Thank you, Reshma. That was wonderful. Now, children, now is the opportunity for you to ask any questions you have. And unfortunately, due to the high number of students, we cannot give an unmute rights right now, but you can post your doubts on the chat box. You have the chat box to post your doubts, and we will read it out for you. The relevant ones, I underline and say it again, the relevant doubts will be read out to Reshma again from our side. So you can actually post your doubts on the chat box. Children, if you have any doubts, you can post it on the chat box. Reshma, if you are also receiving any doubts which are valid, you can read it out.
Yes, sir.
Because certain things will not be coming here also. It will be directly coming.
I have got a few questions.
Okay. If you want to answer a few questions, you can just recite the question and then answer
Yes,
it.
sir. 1 minute.
Yeah.
There have been questions of which university did I graduate from? Why didn't you apply to the US? So I didn't actually graduate. I'm actually into the university. I'm doing an integrated master's. So that means you can do an integrated master's once you're out of school. So I'm just out of school. And why didn't I apply to the US? Like I told you, I like the living conditions and student life and what it offers after your graduation in UK. So that seemed very appealing to me. And someone has asked me if to tell the website very clearly. If you are applying to the UK, you'll have to apply through Ucas, www.ucas.com. And there have been questions of me clearing JEE exams. I did not actually do the JEE exams because I already had the offer in my hand in class 12. So I was working towards achieving my offers, achieving my conditions, because I was given a condition offer stating that I had to meet 90% overall and 90% in mathematics and physics or computer science and in English. So I was preparing for the board exam very sincerely. There's another question if there are medical courses in the UK. Yes, there are, but the application process, if you want to apply for a course, medical course is different. So you'll have to look out at the options for that. Can we get internship in Tamil Nadu? Yes, you can. You'll have to look at internship options that, or look for companies that will give a student an internship offer. Because I did too. So you can definitely look for internship offers. I have so many questions coming in, sir.
Yeah, maybe we will have 3 to 4 more questions entertained. You can select the question, whichever you find most apt and relevant. You can answer to that question. Maybe another 3 to 4 questions we can answer, and then we can wind up the session.
Yes,
And
sir.
if there is any more doubts from the children, we will consolidate it and we will send it across to you.
Okay, sir.
Sure.
Another
Maybe you
question
can
is
pick and
about.
choose. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Another question is about, can you explain briefly about FCE, like how you prepared for it? So the FCE exam is a Cambridge English Language Proficiency Test. You call it the first certificate examination. So they test you about, test you in the listening, writing, LSRW. So how did I prepare for it? You have so many papers online, the FCE papers, and you have to have good English and vocabulary for that, and you'll clear it. It's pretty easy. Uh, so there have been questions about me, my mail ID. Um,
No,
how do I go about it, sir?
for children, if you wanted to ask any doubts to Reshma, you can please mail it to info@vblive.co. info @vblive vblive.co vblive.co info@vblive.co. Please note down this mail ID. Put the subject as doubts regarding this Reshma section, and we will also be sending a Google form in which you can mark your feedback as well as your doubts. Post the session tonight or by tomorrow morning, you will be receiving a Google form link from your corresponding school heads, and you can fill the form, and there will be a section for questions also in the form. You can post your questions. All those questions will be consolidated and forwarded to Ms. Reshma. Will that be fine, Reshma?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And
Uh,
if you wanted to choose 1 or 2 more questions, we can do it, and then we can wind up.
yes, sir.
Or
There are so many questions about the cost involved in studying there and scholarships. The cost will depend on the university that you're applying to and where you're applying to. And there are scholarships. There are so many scholarships for international students. So you will have scholarships for that.
so, is it a good point to close, Reshma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So
Thank you.
I would like. Yeah. Tell me, Reshma.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. 1 minute. So I would like to officially close this session by delivering the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank our honorable chairman sir, our vice chairman sir, for and our director, respected director sir, director academics madam, for giving us this opportunity to listen to Reshma, her experience and her successful application towards the University of Manchester. So I thank them all. And secondly, I would like to thank all the teachers who have worked hard for and supported Reshma for her success. And all the teachers of Velamal, I wholeheartedly thank them. And then I would like to thank all the senior staff, the parents and children who are here. And finally, I would like to thank Reshma for such a wonderful session. You have planned and scripted the entire session in a very beautiful way, and it was so informational and inspiring. So I would like to thank you from bottom of my heart for spending this time with our students and sharing your knowledge and experience with them. Thank you,
Thank you,
Reshma.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you all children. Thank you.